إلا الله محمد رسول الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله.
Well, my concern is not only with the Ahmadis in Africa, but with Africa itself. I'm a religious leader who believes in total dedication to the cause of Allah, and if you are honest in that dedication, then you must be dedicated to His creation. I'm training and instructing my community according to the best education and teachings in Islam. That is to say, serve the cause of humanity just for the love of it.
إن الاهتمام والتعاطف الذي يكنه الخلفاء للبشرية أمر لا يوصف. فمنذ أن حطت أرجل الخلفاء على الأراضي الإفريقية وضعوا لهم على الفور خططا من شأنها تمكين الشعوب الإفريقية من النهوض والاتجاه نحو مستقبل أكثر إشراقا. في بداية الثمانينات كان مشروع نصرة جهان يقوم بزراعة الفاكهة في جميع أنحاء أفريقيا، وشاءت العناية الإلهية أن يشهد العالم معجزة أخرى، وهذه المرة على يدي حضرة أمير المؤمنين ميرزا مسرور أحمد. بعد انتهاء الاستعمار لغرب إفريقيا استمر النضال لدعم اقتصادها، وغانا ليست استثناء، وهذا قبل اكتشاف النفط. ولم يكن تصدير المواد الغذائية القليلة مثل الكاكاو والسمك يدر إيرادات كافية لغانا، وعلاوة على ذلك فإن أحد أهم المتطلبات الغذائية الأساسية لم يكن ينتج على الإطلاق بل يستورد من الخارج، وذلك بسبب الظروف الجوية القاسية وافتقار التربة الخصبة وقلة المياه. لم يكن إنتاج القمح في غانا ممكنا، وحتى اليوم يتم استيراد أكثر من 90% من القمح في غانا من الولايات المتحدة. لقد قرر حضرة خليفة المسيح الرابع رحمه الله أن الوقت قد حان للتغيير، وكان حضرة ميرزا مسرور أحمد مزارعا بارعا يحمل درجة الماجستير في الزراعة، وكان يعمل مديرا للمدرسة الأحمدية الثانوية تعليم الإسلام في سارغار ذلك الوقت. وكل الأشجار المزروعة هناك زرعها حضرته عندما تم نقل المدرسة إلى هذا الموقع. وليس هذا فقط، ولكن حضرته جرب وللمرة الأولى في غانا زراعة فول الصويا، وذلك في المدرسة، وقد نجحت زراعته نجاحا لا يصدق، لدرجة أن الرئيس الغاني الدكتور هيلا ليمان قد أخذ منه معه كيسا كاملا عندما كان يقوم بجولة تفقدية للمدرسة. وكان هذا بداية لمشروع رائد بدأه حضرة خليفة المسيح الرابع رحمه الله، ولإنجاز هذه المهمة أرسل حضرة ميرزا مسرور أحمد إلى الشمال، وهذه المرة إلى تمالي لبدء ما صار يعرف باسم مشروع الأحمدية الزراعي. أهلا بكم في تمالي عاصمة المنطقة الشمالية من غانا. تطلب مشروع الأحمدية الزراعي توازنا دقيقا من الطقس البارد والتربة الخصبة وسهولة الوصول إلى الماء، فقام حضرة خليفة المسيح الرابع رحمه الله بتشكيل لجنة لهذا المشروع تضمنت حضرة الخليفة الحالي، وتم تكليفها بتجريب زراعة حبوب القمح والذرة وكذلك البامية ومختلف الخضروات. فكانت المناطق المجاورة لتمالي على ضفة النهر أفضل مكان للتجربة، وذلك خلال موسم هرمتان حيث يكون الجو أبرد نسبيا. ولم تكن هذه هي المرة الأولى التي تتم فيها هذه التجارب. لقد حاولت العديد من المشاريع الحكومية المدعومة دون جدوى زراعة أكثر من 21 نوعا مختلفا من القمح، ثم تم التخلي عن الفكرة. افتقرت التجارب التي قام بها حضرته إلى الدعم والتمويل التي قد تحصل عليها المشاريع الحكومية. وبالنسبة للجماعة فقد تطلب إنجاح هذه التجربة معجزة لتحقيق النجاح، حيث أن الآخرين قد فشلوا في تحقيق ذلك.
Let them lose it. It is the way to Allah.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam wa barakatuh.
How you doing? So, this is where Huzur used to live. Looking at the building itself, it's pretty much humble. How was his reaction? What was his reaction like when you told him this is the house you got for him? Did he like it?
Oh, he was very happy. I could see that he was very anxious to move into the house. He was also equally happy that at least he had got a place where you could be very comfortable. And I saw sort of a very unassuming, gentle, and humble human being. That was how I assessed him. Very quiet, very unassuming, and very respectful.
All right, so can you show us inside the house? Yeah.
This is the living room.
This used to be the living room.
Yeah,
it's now
an office.
Yeah.
Where we had his dining table at this side. Anytime we came in, he would welcome us. Then, of course, my wife would go inside and meet the wife, and I'll be here with him.
So when you came in, where did Mommy used to go?
Mommy, as soon as she would just take through this door and meet Huzu's wife, and then we would go into the bedroom.
All right, so I'll meet Mommy right there and then ask her what she used to do with Huzu's wife and what some of the activities. Mommy, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
So when you came in with Daddy, what happened?
Anytime I came with my husband, Huzu's wife would meet me and then send me into her bedroom.
Yeah, where
Living Huzu alone. That time, used to be, there were 2 bedrooms, but we used to be here.
This is, so what's this now?
This place is now the office for the regional manager of Ahmadiyya unit.
Ahmadiyya Education.
Ahmadiyya and Education unit.
Okay.
But this used to be one of the living rooms where I used to sit with my friend.
Huzu's wife?
Yes, please. The children sometimes, sometimes when we came, they would come with Jamila and Nuruhak.
Yes.
So sometimes they used to play around outside. There's an out house there, or they used to be there. Sometimes they would be around with Huzu himself or here. So when there was any communication, then they would run there too.
So what were some of the things you used to talk about?
Well, we talked about a whole lot of things because at that time, things were so difficult. Things were so difficult. There wasn't water. Sometimes it was difficult to come by food. So sometimes we lament on some of those things. She would tell me some of the dishes that they liked, and then she would also ask me some of the dishes that, we also prepare in.
I remember you telling me one time that those times it was so difficult that it was hard to come by water.
Yes.
So the water you would use to cook, you would use that same water to probably wash your plates, use the same water to do other things. So did you ever at any point in time hear him or his wife complain or regret for coming here?
Never.
They never complained?
Never complained. Anytime you did anything, whatever it was, they were just so content with the situation that they found themselves.
Never complained?
They never complained.
Not even once?
Not even once.
And you were really very close?
Very, very close. Very close.
Wow.
Very close.
And so, can you tell me, Mommy, what your fondest memory of this room is? Because obviously you had a lot of interaction.
In fact, not here, but in the kitchen.
Oh, can we take a tour to the kitchen there?
My memory was in the kitchen. This used to be a very small kitchen. This is where we used to be.
Yes.
You can imagine this is the sink. And they had a small table here, a very small work table. And this is where we used to. Sometimes when I came in and we used to come here, where she taught me how to do chapati.
Oh.
She taught me how to prepare okra stew, which we used to eat with
chapati.
The chapati. She taught me how to do.
So now that's the secret behind this, the taste of your chapati. Oh, right. I now know the secret to my mom's chapati.
Yes.
So she taught you how to prepare chapati. What did you prepare? Teach her how to?
Jollof rice.
Jollof rice.
Yes.
I'm sure she will still remember jollof rice.
But she also used to cook rice, this colored rice with sugar, which I never ate before. And then she will prepare her rice with pickles. She will prepare rice and put pickles, which I never ate before. But it was so nice. I used to enjoy it. And since she went, I don't think I've eaten pickles again.
Wow.
I'd like to get some.
سيقودنا الحاج مأمون إلى بيته القديم حيث كان يجلس مع حضرة الخليفة الحالي تحت الأشجار ويتحدثان ويستمتعان بشرب الشاي.
So this is your house?
Yes, this is where I live. In the evening, we used to come and sit down here. Let's say between the hours of 4 and 6. we used to be here. Occasionally too, we went inside, depending on the weather conditions.
So you used to sit under this mango tree?
Yes.
Was it as big as this?
No, it was
huge.
smaller.
It was much smaller than this.
We were talking about 20 years ago.
So can you tell us, what sort of conversation did you used to have, and what did the sort of things you used to talk about tell you about the personality of this man?
We talked about so many things, as I've said. In fact, from Alpha to Omega, we talked about religion, of course, as Ahmadis. We talked even politics, local politics and international politics.
So, having interacted with him on several occasions, what sort of impressions did he make on you?
Frankly, as a very humble, honest, gentle, and God-fearing person. Yes. And then I remember there was an incident I wouldn't forget. In the month of Ramadan, it was during the drought. We had, in fact, food was very difficult to come by. On the last day of Ramadan, the moon appeared. But believe me, some people didn't know what food to cook the full day to celebrate Eid. I was a bit better, but I wasn't okay. So we were contemplating what to do with the rest that we had, because it wouldn't be sufficient. Then somebody came, I think that was his houseboy. I said, oh, he said, Master said, make I'll call you. But I apparently asked him that Huzu wanted to see me. So I walked across and then gave him salam. Then he told me that, oh, fortunately he was able to mobilize some rice. And was sharing among members of the Jamaat, of course, at a cost. So he said, this is your share. That's the price. This one is for Mr. Umar, the one who is now in one. This one is for Mr. Umar. I said, okay, I'll take this for him. And then there was another chap also called Isa. He was just saying across. He said, this one please for Isa, but Isa came for his, I didn't pick it for him. So when I picked Mr. Umar's, I brought it in home. I said, man, look at it, my dear, look at what has happened. Mr. Masroor has brought us some rice. I mean, it is so wonderful. We're all excited about the rice. So I quickly myself sent Mr. Umar's own to him. I said, oh, uncle, Mr. Mumin brought some rice. Said that it's Mr. Masroor who sent it. I said, what? Rice? You don't mean
on the
rice?
11th
Yes.
hour?
On the 11th hour. The man, when he just when they looked at it, he just walked straight to me. I said, uncle, what's the matter? I said, He said, my brother, I still remember, I'm going to quote. I still remember his quote. Yeah, so they said, this is a practical manifestation of Allah by himself.
So now he would go to the farm as well?
Yes.
How did he usually go to the farm?
When he came at first, he didn't have a vehicle. But he managed to go sometimes on a tractor, sometimes he used it on a motorbike. But eventually, he had a Ford pickup, which he was using. Yes, so he used to use that one.
So he was that humble?
Yes.
He could ride on a tractor?
The tractor, on the mudguard, yes.
On the mudguard of a tractor?
Yes.
And he was humble enough to travel all the way to Dipali on the motorbike as well?
About 35, 40 miles away from here.
Was he riding himself or someone used to?
Somebody used to pick him. Yes.
يبعد موقع المشروع الزراعي الذي كان يسافر إليه حضرته 40 ميلاً عن قرية ديبالي، وغالباً ما كان يمضي ليلته في القرية.
I'm now on my way to Dipali, that very famous village where Huzu first successfully implemented and cultivated wheat for the very first time in Ghana. And prior to this, other government officials and agencies had tried several times to cultivate wheat in Ghana and had in fact concluded that it was an impossibility trying to cultivate wheat in Ghana until Huzu proved all those critics wrong. And then this is the road where Huzu used to travel on. He used to travel on this very road on motorbikes and sometimes even on tractors until the Jamaat purchased for him a vehicle similar to the 4x4 I am using now. And trust me, even riding in this 4x4, you can see it's very shaky and bumpy. It's not comfortable at all. So one can imagine 30 years back, that kind of turmoil Huzu had to experience on his way to the farm at Dipali.
السفر مسافة 40 ميلاً على طريق ترابية ووعرة رحلة ليست سهلة في أي سيارة، فما بالك إن كان ذلك على متن جرار.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
Can I come forward to Dipala?
Okay, come.
All right.
محمد البخاري كان سائق جرار المشروع وسوف يطلعنا كيف كان الأمر قبل 30 عاما.
How are you?
I'm fine.
Alhamdulillah.
How
All
are
right,
you?
let's go. I'm fine. I'm fine. Your family?
Yes, I'm fine.
All right. Do you remember one Mr. Masroor Ahmed?
Yes, yes. That's my best friend.
Your best friend?
Yes.
Tell me about him.
Hey, after Mr. Masood, I work with him in the palace. We do irrigation, making corn, popcorn, wheat. Hey, many things.
At where? Deep Alley?
The palace.
So you used to drive the tractor to Deep
Tractor?
Alley?
Yes. Hey.
Has he ever joined you on the tractor?
Yes.
Tell me about his journey with you on the tractor.
Every day we are going 40 miles, in and out 80 miles away. Every day.
And where would he be sitting?
We are sitting behind how we are sitting.
Just here?
Yes.
I can't imagine this. This man used to sit here?
Yes.
On the mudguard of the tractor?
Yes. The time we are start making fasting, still we have been going.
Even during Ramadan, when you are fasting?
Yes.
You still go on the farm?
Yes.
And you will be, during Ramadan, you still sit on this?
Yes.
In the scorching sun?
Yes. That man is very fine, good man. He's a good man. Sometimes I will speak my English. You say, hey, your English is very poor.
He was teaching you English?
Yes.
And you will tell your English is poor?
He said, hey, your English is very poor.
I'm sure today, if he hears you speaking English, he'll give you a thumbs up, yeah?
One day, Okuya Malo Nigala, Anu Shama, the Benon. There's one to Nano, Carmel, no, when I take a Lacam Bar. Lapo, don't this Shama. What tomorrow when I yell man? Ndakunya to Strabanya, one more so send the tank patapolo. Okran booked a day younger. Bendirubu, don't to not know sham where no limited. Among Puno Carbatuba, we are marrow in the Wuha. No one to none, the Nama, but the girl on board sham. I become back or I have I don't have born party. Nda born upon what I pent more to my dear Ben Sama. Can you young born upon Nanji? When I'm bought Pampam Jipa, I am going marriage as Anthony.
All right. Before then, did you see wheat in Ghana before? And what did Mr. Masroor do to bring the wheat?
I live wheat Ghana, brand wheat banana Ghana. So when I Ghana, why should I to quality and I quality the pallet or no? So I agree Canada come now but in yellow. Don't brush him now wheat to put on Ghana. The certain that quality carpool no, oh, then I know to dry. So can Panama, I cannot lay him there. Then could be a yellow Puma, one that Biana Casson to the Pua, Uncle Kule, Mamblanga too young Batunda.
When we were running a farm there were quite a number of days when I would travel by tractor to the farm, which was almost 35 miles from my residence. Sometime I used to drive the tractor, and some days I would sit on the mudguard of the tractor. So by the time you would get to the place, you are so tired that it is very much difficult for you to do some job.
هذه هي قرية الدبالي وهي الآن تعم بالحياة، ولكن في ذلك الوقت وقت المشروع كانت قرية صغيرة فيها أرض زراعية مجاورة لنهر فولتا. وبحسب العادة الشائعة هنا يؤخذ الإذن في كل شيء من رئيس القرية أولاً. سنتحدث إلى صديق قديم لأمير المؤمنين من أيام المشروع، محمد عبد الله، وهو زعيم لقبيلته اليوم.
Was the farm manager of Ahmadiyya Agri Project, Northern Region, Tamale. The farm was sited in Depale. And due to the inconvenience or the distance from Depale to Tabale, the Agri project decided to build a farmhouse. But as at now, we can only have a trace of it, because since we left the project, people has encroached on where they will build the farmhouse.
Yeah. So where was this house?
This was where the house was. We had 2 bedrooms, 2 rooms.
This particular spot. So
from here, most likely, from here up to that place.
So as I'm standing here, it's possible I could be standing in a spot, in a room where Huzuru used to sleep. Wow, there was a room here.
Yes.
Was it made of bricks? Was it similar to what's here?
This is even looking more nicer.
This is nicer. Was it similar to that?
We've just built. We used some swish to build it.
Yes.
Then there's some little byproduct of rice husk.
Wow.
To plaster it.
Wow.
And the floor was anything, just to lay our heads.
Wow.
And Huzur was. President today, Huzur, could lay his head with us.
Oh, you mean you were all sleeping in the same room?
In the same room.
You were his work. You were working under him.
I was working under him. I was his assistant manager.
All right.
Oh, yeah. we had to cook our own. And do you know what was happening? Yeah. If Huzur was to stay here for 3-4 days, his wife who has to prepare chapati, then some cakes. That will survive him for afternoon, evening, and morning, for 3 days. You see this? Yeah. You see this room? Yes. This is a modern room.
You call this is a modern room compared to what you and Huzur
were saying. Wow. This is a modern room. Very nice. Huzur, we couldn't make a room like this.
Oh.
Yes.
And you didn't tell me about the roofing.
It was all with thatch.
This is made of
grass.
Grass. This is grass.
Yes.
Yours too was made of grass.
We had to buy the grass from this village.
Wow.
Yes.
And well, obviously this is cement.
Well polished. Yes, we just use mud to ramp. We use sticks to ramp it so that it could hold.
Yeah. So talk about ants. Talk about other rodents.
Oh, but for that, ants, we didn't talk of them.
There were no ants in the room.
Wow. We have to manage with them.
You had to manage, so you were literally living in the same room with ants at the time.
What we had to do.
Wow. And snakes, scorpions.
Snakes, this was the only place that was within this side, the only house. So you could imagine the type of reptiles and other things we're facing. I had a snake bite, scorpion bite in this one of our rooms for 3 days.
Scorpion bite?
Scorpion bite. I had the pains for 3 good days.
And what kind of things were you sleeping on? I can see this is a modern kind of mattress, isn't it?
Yes, he had this student light mattress foam. Or at times he comes with bed sheet.
So he used to come with something like this, or a bare bed sheet that we just put on the floor and lie on.
It.
Wow. Well, I know this is more comfortable than what Huzuru used to lie on.
The project has no money to buy all these luxurious things.
Wow. But I'll just right now, James, I'm just going to make an attempt to have a feel of what Huzuru might have felt at the time that he was here, and he would sleep on something which was, what we see here was more comfortable than what he used to sleep on. I'll just try and see if I can spend 8 hours of the night on this mattress. And you used to have mosquito nets, you said?
Yes, we nailed the mosquito nets in the square rectangular form for him to avoid mosquitoes.
Oh, this is very much unlike my bed. I'm just wondering if I can survive this for 8 hours, you know.
But Huzuru has to survive with it.
No, it's just too hard for me now. I can't. Must have been a lot of sacrifice. Yeah?
Of course.
And for all of you.
Yeah.
Wow. Chief Mohammed Abdullah, so in those days, obviously, you just mentioned you used to bring, Huzuru used to bring items like chapati and all that.
Yes.
But if you wanted to take tea, obviously you would have to boil water. How did you go? No electricity, no kettle.
This makes me remember one day he was hungry at the farm. Then he asked me to boil tea for him. Eventually, we used the bowl that we used to prepare our soup.
Like this one there?
Like
that black okay.
So after preparing, Abdullah, have you put pepper in the tea?
Oh, okay. Because it's been used to...
We used it to prepare our soup.
So there was chili, there was spice, everything in it. And You didn't wash it well?
Yes. So he has to manage.
Let's have a look at the pots here. Okay. So there's water. I can clearly see that there's water in there. So, but then this same pot is used for soup
and
is used
other
for
things.
stew, is used for other things. And at the same time, you would use it to boil water.
Boil tea.
Oh.
So that is it.
Wow.
So you could imagine the stress, the uncomfortability, the hardships, the sacrifice the President Huzuru made towards the Ahmadiyya Agri project. This was a co-worker.
Oh.
Or, do I say a companion in this village who at times helps in the farm.
Wow, wow, wow.
This was our best friend. When we needed fish, he could give me a fish. But that time, this guy was a small boy. And we used to send them. So you see?
Yeah.
And they all knew Huzuru. They all knew him.
You all remember him? Is Amir?
Mr. Amir. Kabono, assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum. All right,
that
so
is his name.
All you're telling me here is that, look, when Huzuru worked here, he lived with them, he worked with them, and they all know him. They still do remember him, and they remember him by the name Assalamu alaikum, because they think that he was a man of peace. And indeed, Huzuru is a man of peace. Okay. So, Chief, can you tell us, first of all, how did the whole project start?
The whole project started by instructions from Huzuru, the former Huzuru, that Ahmadiyya needed a project, a Greek project. So Amir had to send in some delegation then to Tamale. Then they also came down here to meet the people of the village and to put them the farm proposals to them. And a land of 1,000 acres was acquired. We didn't pay for it. It was not cashed. And we started the project.
Chief, can you take me on a trip to the farm?
For sure.
I would like to see the farm for myself.
For sure.
Then I would spend some night there. And there was no proper house, even no house. It was a small village. So we used to spend our nights with those local peoples. So they thatched houses, and they spread mat on the floor, and there you sleep. So I have slept many nights in the bush, and whenever I would wake up in the night, I would see around, see if there is any scorpion or something, because there were so many scorpions there, snakes or scorpion around you or not.
يقترب المساء وتقترب معه نهاية رحلتنا.
So, Chief, how far is the farm from this village? It is Dipali, but the farm is still ahead, you said?
Yes, from Dipali to the farm is about between 3 and 4 kilometers.
The nature of this road now, this is the 21st century, it's still so bad. I can imagine 30 years back when you used to fly this road all the time. How was it?
There was no road.
There was no road.
We had to use our tractor because it's a bush machine that paved the way for Huzuru's at times pick up to follow.
And I've just been thinking to myself, if it is this difficult now in the 21st century, I'm just wondering how it would have been 30 years or so ago when Huzuru worked on these parts of the northern region.
حتى مع وجود طرق ترابية كان من المستحيل أن نشق طريقنا من دون وجود دليل من القرية، الأمر الذي يجعلنا نتخيل مدى صعوبة ذلك قبل 30 عاما.
When you saw him for the very first time in your life, what sort of impression did he make on you?
Yeah, I was not too sure whether he could do farming.
Why?
Yes.
Why?
I was not too sure whether he could do farming, because looking at how he was dressed, and I knew him to be the headmaster of Salga at Ahmadiyya. So I was a teacher at a secondary school head teacher coming to be a farmer.
So you doubted his ability
of being a farmer.
But you still went ahead to propose to work with him.
Yes.
There's something that might have gingered you to
you see, because they said the Ahmadiyya Agri projects was going to be, it was a humanitarian, project. It was not a profit-making destiny. And as an Ahmadi, it's a common pledge that we are all the time ready to serve the mission. So that also geared me to come into the project.
بمساعدة من السكان المحليين وصلنا أخيراً إلى المزرعة.
All this land that you see was under Ahmadi Agri Project.
Wow.
This was acquired by Ahmadi Agri Project.
How many acres is that?
Well, we acquired 1,000 acres. Both for cultivation of rice, ginger, experiment of wheat growing, vegetables like okra, carrot, cassia or something like that, and so many other granates. We even did granates at the upper land.
So can you tell us, before this experimentation on wheat, had you ever seen wheat with your naked eyes, with your own eyes?
No. And it was on records that Ghana, no wheat can be grown in Ghana. It was on records in Ghana history that wheat cannot be grown in Ghana. But we experimented it on this land. And it was very useful.
Very, very successful.
Successful.
Wow.
100% successful.
Wow.
So that.
So this is where you used to work?
Yes, we used to work. You see, this was a pavement for the irrigation. This was where we could slope our machines down.
Right there?
Yes.
Can we have a look? Wow. Yeah. It's still there.
Yeah.
Wow. So what used to happen here? You had water?
That is a river.
There's a river there?
That's a river.
Wow.
So our machines were down there.
Is the river still alive?
Yes, let's go.
And you were not scared of snakes or anything when you were working here? Because
what do you have to do?
Frankly speaking, I am scared of snakes.
Okay, let me take the lead.
This is the white volta, I believe.
Yes, I believe.
Yes. So what happened from here? Chief is okay.
No, I want to show you something.
You want me to still come down there?
Yes, come down.
Is it safe?
It's safe. There's nothing.
Okay.
You see? We cleared the land here.
Yes.
Cleared the whole land there. Then our machines were there. Then we would lay pipes up. Right? All this was cleared. We put the pumper machine there to draw water from here onto the land.
Wow.
Well, we had three machines working at all the time.
So you had constant water supply for the wheat project.
Wheat project.
And how many months or years did it take for the project to mature? So then you could say now it's been successful.
Yes. The wheat cultivation was done only at one season.
Yeah.
We did it once.
Yes.
And it was successful.
Successful.
Then we did rice irrigation. We did irrigation on rice.
Okay.
It was also successful.
Wow.
Then we did vegetables, okra, onion, carrots.
Was Huzur actively participating
that
in
was why at times he has to stay, especially the wheat cultivation was very new.
Yeah.
I never knew agriculture. He was training me.
Yeah.
I was not an agriculturalist. Yeah. But it was through him that I decided developing interest in agriculture.
Wow.
So wheat was the first experiment in Ghana. So Huzur paid more attention to it because when he wanted to do that, he was told he would not be successful because wheat cannot be grown in Ghana.
And he proved the
skeptics wrong.
Yes.
Because it was all grown. Directors of agricultural institutions came and visited the farm.
Wow, and they were
to sustain the truth of it.
Do you remember any scene, for instance, here where Huzur did something here? Did he ever do something here?
What I'm saying that he was in response. He had to teach us how to operate the machines.
Yeah. So what did he do?
He goes. We go in down there with him. Down there with him, to prime the machines. He would teach us how to prime the machines.
Yeah.
Because if you don't prime the machine, it will not pull in water. So he will go in, teach us how to prime the machines, teach us how to lay the pipes up there. He was totally involved.
Tell me about your mode of dressing. How was he dressed?
He was a farmer. He was dressed like a farmer.
كان محمد باكو من بين من عمل في المشروع، وقد تشرف بالعمل بشكل وثيق مع أمير المؤمنين.
There at the farm, you will never see him sitting. Always working here and there. Turning the pipes of this machine, these pumping machines, putting into the water, dipping into the water. He will tell us, oh, let us go to the riverside. Then we'll go, he himself will dip in the pipe into the water. I want the pipe to go inside the water. So we'll pull it, and he himself will put it into the water. Then we'll go back and lay the pipes very well. Then we'll spark the machine. Then the thing will work. And you will never see him at one place, moving here and there.
Yes. So how long did it take you to establish all this, establish the pumping machines, clear the weeds, and before you started work? How long did it take, the preparatory stages?
Well, the preparatory stages did not take us a long time because hands were all on deck. Nobody was sitting idle. Yes. And there was no rest for anybody until the machines were laid up. Ozo was a very sociable person. And he could say sorry.
Yeah.
The word sorry from him, from his mouth, was not anything a big deal. And he was a problem solver. You see, he could, should there be any problem, he quickly comes in to solve.
Do you remember any such problems?
With this type of nature of work, where all of us were new, right?
Yeah.
We becomes at times becomes bored up with the work. Then he will sit us down, tell us the importance of it. Then we cope up again.
To re-energize you to start working.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so,
and at any time you went wrong, he sits you down and advises you, or this is the way you ought to have done this, that, and that. He was not harsh in words.
What kind of leader at the time? He was your leader on the farm.
Yes.
So what kind of leader would you describe him? Would you say he was the kind of leader who would sit back and instruct you, you do that, you do this?
He was very active, involving. He was so involving. He was not a person who sits back and tell you do this and no. He does it for you to see. So when he's not there, you could do it.
What's your most the most memorable thing that ever happened on this farm between you and Huzur that you'd like to share with us?
You see, what happens was that Huzur was a person, not that because he's Khalifa now, and sometimes I used to ask myself what type of person he was.
Yes.
You see, he used to, at any time there was a problem, or where we the workers were faced with problem with regard to work, he draws it near God.
Wow.
Yes.
How did he do that?
Yes, he will tell you that, oh no, they shouldn't be worried. This is part of God's signs that he exists. You must face this type of problems to show that God exists.
And you used to say prayers here?
Yes, we used to say prayers here, but the spot where we used to say Juma prayers, we can't get there because of waterlock.
You used to say Juma here?
Juma. At any time there was, we were prompted Juma here. Huzur will make somebody call Azan.
How many of you?
We are 3, 4.
Even if you were 3?
I remember we were 2 people standing behind Huzur.
And there would be a sermon?
He would deliver a sermon and would lead us in prayer.
Alhamdulillah.
Yes.
And I could remember one Friday, the missionary and myself, plus Huzur himself, the 3 of us went to the palace. And when it was even time for Juma prayers, he said, Bako, you will call Azan. So I called Azan. Movi Kamar stood before us and gave some small sermon. And then I stood shoulder to shoulder with Huzur, and 3 of us, we prayed. And the whole village, they came and surrounded us, because they were surprised to see a black man in midst of white men praying.
Apart from Juma and advising you, his lifestyle itself,
He was a very simple lifestyle man. He never wore expensive dresses. And he didn't like expensive food. Whatever was available. That was why he used to ride the tractor. Because at any time he felt that consumption, we had a Ford pickup which consumed more petrol. So in order to safeguard mission's money or the project's money, at times we come with a tractor.
And I just saw the struggle we had to go through to be here. So around that time,
I tell you that this one was this is a better road. It was our tractors that we used to pave road. So you can imagine, like here, a wheel here, a wheel here. That's all. You move. Until recently, I never knew that he had devoted his whole life to Ahmadiyyat. Until quite recently. And it makes me to reflect and to now reason why he was so committed to work. He was not lazy. He was not selfish. He was ready to share ideas with you whenever you were wrong. And he was ready to listen to your advice.
It was
a concept among those agriculture experts that wheat cannot be grown here. But there's some Hamatan season. So I felt that during Hamatan, where the temperature goes down, we can grow wheat. But how? There's no water. I said that I was of the view that if we get water or irrigation facility, then we can grow wheat easily. I asked one of my friends in Nigeria to send me some wheat seed. And that I experimented there. It grew very well. We irrigated them with sprinklers. We lift the water from Volta River, and it was quite successful. And even up to now, Amir Sahib, Ghana, has kept that quantity of the wheat into a jar, and he has kept that jar in the exhibition hall of Ghana Jamaat. Up to now, they are very well preserved.
Islam has been brought by Allah. Let them merge it. It is the way to Allah.
لقد شاهدتم رحلة لا تصدق، ورأيتم أن على من يوقف حياته في سبيل الله أن يضحي بحياته وثروته ومكانته، ويظهر أعلى مستوى من الطاعة والتواضع، وأن يعامل بني البشر بلطف ومحبة. لقد تحلى حضرته بهذه الصفات التي جعلته بالإضافة إلى أدعية خليفة المسيح ينجح عندما فشل الجميع. إنه نموذج حي لنا جميعا. لقد أمضى حضرته 8 سنوات من الخدمة في غانا.
It's an example of humility. It's an example of obedience. It's an example of commitment. It's an example of recognizing a human being for his work, what he is.
God had a mission for him, so he made sure he protected him, he made sure he groomed him, he made sure he protected him in such a way that nobody in future will have any cause for pointing unnecessary finger at him.
He remained humble throughout. He remained dedicated throughout. He went through all possible hardships that anybody can go through without any complaint. And that is a mark of a real devotee, somebody who is dedicated to the cause.
Salamu alaikum ya jama. Assalamu alaikum.
حقق مشروع الأحمدية الزراعي نجاحا باهرا، ولكن قرية ديبالي لم تنسى، القرية التي رحبت بالجماعة وهي تعتز اليوم أن فيها مدرسة ومزرعة ستنتج أفضل الحصاد للجميع في المستقبل.